Greetings duelists and welcome to another video. So today I kind of want to talk about something that's coming in this TCG very soon, and that is support for Primite. For those who don't know or don't remember, Primite got introduced in Rage of the Abyss. It was a very small engine that comprised of cards that was tailor-made to support normal monster archetypes. Prior to Supreme Darkness, the Primite engine was very compact. It only mainly served as a catalyst for those normal monster reliant decks. However, very soon, this engine is going to become splashable, and depending on how this is addressed in the TCG, it could become an issue. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So, as a brief refresher, Primite Load is a normal spell card, and this card reads, when this card is activated, add one Primite card from your deck to your hand, except Primite Load. You can declare one normal monster card name, special summon one declared normal monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard in defense position. Also, you cannot activate the effects of special summon monsters on the field this turn. You can only use each effect of Load once per turn. Normal monster and primary monsters gain 300 attack for normal monsters, the different things. So prior to Supreme Darkness, your main searcher for this card would have been Primite Roar, and basically what you would have been doing with this card is just summoning out of Primite Roar just to not lock you into the special summon restriction. And furthermore, if you already had your vanilla monster, you would be searching your other cards, like for example, Drill Beam. Now, post Supreme Darkness, that's going to change because we're getting a new card, and this new card, it changes the landscape of this engine entirely. Primite Dragon Beryl reads, or Primite Dragon Ether Beryl now it's called, reads, if this card's normal summoned, you can set one Primite spell trap from your deck. You can only use each of the following effects of Primite Dragon Beryl once per turn. You can trigger this card, send one normal monster from your deck to the graveyard. During your standby phase, and this key phrase is very important, if you have a normal monster on your field or in your graveyard, you can add this card from your graveyard to your hand. So essentially what Primite Dragon Beryl does for the Primite engine is that it now becomes a 6-card starter instead of a 3-card starter. Opening Beryl before load does have a downside. The downside is that you cannot activate Primite Roar unless you use another Beryl's effect to send itself to the graveyard. However, that's not going to be an issue, and you'll see a little bit later what we're going to be doing that makes this very relevant. So we're going to summon the other Beryl. The other Beryl is going to set us Primite Drill Beam. Primite Drill Beam is a quick play spell that reads, reveal one Primite card or one normal monster in your hand except Primite Drill Beam. Or if you control a normal monster or a level 5 or higher Primite monster except a token, you can activate this effect without revealing a card. Then target one face-up card on the field, negate its effects, and if you do, banish it. During your main phase, if you control a Primite monster, you can set this card from your graveyard. You can only use this effect of Primite Drill Beam once per turn. Prior to Supreme Darkness, this card was an okay tech at best, but the restrictions, the conditions for Drill Beam were very specific. And in order to make this card very effective, you needed a normal monster on your field. Now, because of the existence of another Beryl, And because of the way this card is worded, this card is pretty much now like a splashable card that you can use at any point. We're going to go a little bit further. So we activated Lurdy Load, we normal summon the Beryl is going to send us the Drill Beam, and now we're going to use Lurdy Load's other effect. And with Lurdy Load, we're going to special summon a vanilla monster. The monster we're going to use here is the Dark Magician. Yes, we're using the Ultimate Wizard in terms of attack and defense. So what's relevant about Dark Magician? Why is this important to everything that I mentioned involving Primite? Well, if you see this board, M-board right here, this M-board is not that important, is not that good. However, we're going to add one little small part of the, one more small catalyst to this equation. And that catalyst are fusion spells. So, Dark Magician and another Beryl can fuse into a lot of different monsters. And we're just showcasing you a few examples of cards that we can use here. We're going to use the Eye of Timaeus, just for example. We're going to use the Dark Magician as the fusion material and look at all the monsters we can summon with Dark Magician. Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, Amulet Dragon, the Dark Magician Dragon Knight, the Dark Magicians. There are probably other ones that are not that hard to summon. However, these are like the more relevant ones, especially Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. The materials for Red Dark Dragoon is Dark Magician and one Red Eyes Black Dragon or one Dragon Effect monster. Primite another Beryl fits the conditions for Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Now, let's say we use the Eye of Timaeus and we summon the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. That means the other Beryl is still on the field. Let's just link away another Beryl into Striker Dragon. Now check this out. Remember when we talked about the Ether Beryl in the TCG? Let's look at another Beryl here as it's written. It says, during your standby phase, if you have a normal monster, if you're a graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. The TCG text on this card says during the standby phase. That's a really big deal, because now if that text ends up being correct and the card is ruled as it is intended in the card text in the TCG, it means you can add this card during the next standby phase. And adding this card in the next standby phase does two things. The first thing it does, it turns on Drill Beam. Remember when we talked about how hard Drill Beam is to activate if you don't control a normal monster? Well, that's no longer an issue, because now you can just reveal Ether Beryl for Drill Beam, and Drill Beam just becomes one card negate for anything like on your opponent's turn that can also banish. Adding to that, Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, in order to negate an opponent's card once per turn, you can discard a card to negate the activation, and then this card gets 1,000 attack. So essentially what this means here is, after you use your Drill Beam successfully, you can use Red Eyes Dark Dragoon and to pitch the other Beryl, and then in the next standby phase, you get the other Beryl back. And that just becomes infinite discard fodder for Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Like, Red Eyes Dark Dragoon is a very strong boss monster, and outside of very specific cards like Forbidden Droplets and like Triple Tactic Talents, there are no real easy outs to this card. This card crooks Rizio, and like Malice has an easier time handling this, but imagine dealing with both Dragoon and Drill Beam every single turn. Like, this is actually just really strong. So this is just a sample deck list. This is an experiment that I just started to tweaking with. It's not 100% like concrete. There are still a little few points that we're trying to figure out here. But if this card is worded as it is in the TCG, I can tell you for right now, this this small engine or this small like deck could actually do something in the TCG. But yeah, let me know if you are interested in me talking about like this deck more in the future, or maybe talk about Primite as a whole. We already know that this card is being played very heavily in Blue Eyes in the OCG. But I truly believe this could be a very splashable engine for a lot of decks if just used correctly. But yeah, that's it from me. I hope you found this informative and to your liking and understanding. Keep practicing and keep dueling.